Nicely done mention this evening that takes us to Columbus, Nebraska. The teacher behind the great sounds coming out of his classroom. His work is music to our ears.
Fred Ritter, at age 59 and with 36 years in the classroom, still has a passion for music.
And it's going to be a natural.
He's had it since singing in a country church at a young age and all through his schooling.
Singing music that means something is extremely important.
Joyful, joyful, Lord, we adore thee.
And then also the people that you share that with are experiences that I'll never forget.
Fred Ritter was a director of vocal music for North Platte Public Schools from 1978 through 1989 and was the director of vocal music at Columbus High School in Columbus, Nebraska from 1989 through 2015. He was an active member of the Nebraska Music Educators Association for his entire career and would continue to teach, lead, and advocate for vocal music at nearly every level. Today, we take a look back at Fred Ritter's illustrious career through discussion with his colleagues, former students, and family members that he has inspired to care for music in the same way he has.
Congratulations, Fred Ritter. A well-deserved honor. My name is Dan Hayes. I'm the director of theater at Midland University, and I was on the board of Nebraska choral directors with Fred, but also I followed him as the chair of choral affairs for Nebraska Music Educators. And in fact, I take responsibility for immortalizing Fred as the voice of the all-state vocal scales and arpeggios guy. The year that I was the choral chair, I called Fred and said, would you be willing to come and help us to make the tapes for practicing for Allstate, which is a very time-intensive thing, and Fred said, sure. He brought all of his equipment to a basement in Blair, and for 8 hours or more, we recorded all of those tapes. But what most people don't know is that Fred was suffering from influenza, and he had a raging fever during that time, but still he stuck it out, made those videotapes or those audio tapes, and it immortalized him. So thank you for that, Fred. That is Fred Ritter in a nutshell. And you know, I think between Fred, his brother, his sister, and all of those fabulous children of his, I think half the children in Nebraska have learned vocal music from a Ritter. Well, of course, that's an exaggeration, but this award is well-deserved. As my dad would say, you done good. Congratulations, Fred.
Good evening. I'm Larry Rathman. I had the opportunity to work with Fred Ritter during the 7 years I served as instrumental music director at Columbus High School. I would occasionally go into Fred's classroom, unannounced most of the time, and sit at the back of the classroom where I could watch him run rehearsals. I truly believe that made me a better music educator. I also enjoyed watching his students to see how they felt about the classroom situation. I know they felt that they were in a positive and safe environment where they were all appreciated as true individuals. Fred is a positive role model who leads by example. He is totally dedicated to his profession, his students, and the professional organizations he belongs to. Fred is respected throughout the state by all his peers as being a wonderful music educator and is in demand as a clinician throughout the Midwest. Fred, I'm very excited that you are being inducted into the Nebraska Music Educators Association Hall of Fame. You are truly deserving. Congratulations, my friend.
Fred has always had a way of making you feel as if you're the most important person in the room. He has always been willing to share his knowledge with you. And for a man whose life has always been so full of family and students and friends and professional organizations, he never gave you the impression that he didn't have the time to stop to give you a word of encouragement or visit with you about a new composition or composer or arranger that he had discovered. Fred's a master educator. He is so generous with his time. He has shared his knowledge and music education techniques with all of us. And it never seemed to matter to Fred how many years of experience you did or didn't have under your belt. He always received you as an equal. as a valued colleague. And let me say that when I first started teaching at the high school level, that meant the world to me. Fred is a mentor. He is a servant leader, and it is an absolute pleasure to call him, and privilege to call him, a friend.
Fred Ritter is a great friend and a wonderful mentor. He's one of the most caring and empathetic people I have worked with over the last 25 years. He's helped me specifically to work through the growing pains of being a first-time high school band director, and he's provided me with support through all of the ups and downs of being a music educator. He's always been someone I could lean on in difficult times and someone I can celebrate with during the great times. In his office, he had a theater seat in it with a sign above it that read, "Bang your head here." And there are many times I sat in his office and did just that. We would talk for a bit, maybe come up with a solution, maybe not. But regardless, I always felt better afterwards after we could spend some time talking. Prior to his retirement, Fred worked tirelessly on SMART goals for his choir students so that those students would know how they were progressing as singers. Just this week, I was sitting through a professional development training on monitoring student progress that was being presented as a new way to help students succeed. I thought to myself, this isn't new. This is exactly what Fred's been doing 10 years ago. Fred's a wonderful human being, and he has helped me to be a better teacher throughout the years that he's been here. He's also helped to progress music and music education throughout Nebraska with his masterful conducting, his wonderful teaching, and through his mentoring of other teachers throughout Nebraska, including me.
You know, Fred opened up the world of music to me, a world that I never would have known if I wouldn't have just happened to had study hall when he had freshman choir. You know, it was a very chance meeting that Fred Ritter came into my life. And he opened up choral music. He opened up this world to me that I didn't know. And it was amazing. And I didn't even realize how amazing it was when I was in it. But when I went to college and I wasn't really in that world, I realized how much I missed it. And I thought it would be a noble profession if I could open up that world to other people like Fred opened up that world to me. And not that I wanted to make a bunch of music majors, and I don't think Fred's job was, he didn't feel like he had to just create music majors, but he wanted kids to experience music and have music in their lives, and he needed to enrich that experience with those students. And I thought that is a pretty noble thing to do. If I could open up the world of music to just one student, like Fred did to me, then I was a success. And that's why I'm a music educator today. So thank you, Fred, for a great career and all you've done for all of your students.
Hi, Fred Ritter was my music teacher during his first 2 years at Columbus High School, and I just remember the way that he just imparted his love for music to all of his students. He made everything so much fun, and I think we all grew as vocalists. And he cared about his students beyond just the classroom. He really invested in everybody personally, and he definitely is one of my favorite teachers of all time and really deserves this nomination.
One of my favorite memories is when we did the Poulenc Gloria with the Omaha Symphony. It was the first piece that, I really had to work at. I didn't know all the notes. Initially, I couldn't sight read it, and it was a real challenge, and he showed us how to do that, how to go through that process of being maybe a little uncomfortable and having to work through it. So really giving us a true set of skills, learning discipline, and also just care and consideration for our peers and how to be a part of the ensemble. Those are things that I really treasure from working with Mr. Ritter. I wouldn't be the singer, the performer I am today, the teacher I am today, the person, the human I am today without Mr. Ritter in my life.
Yeah, I'll start. I loved when Dad was my teacher. One of my favorite things that he did was he did a Shine initiative where he invited any student in his choir class to show any type of talent that they had. It could have been singing, it could have been poetry, it could have been rapping, whatever. And he just invited people to be who they were and to really shine. And it was really great for those kids who just didn't really have a niche, to just feel appreciated and loved. And that really spoke into us as kids, because it's not like he forced us to sit at the piano for an hour and say, you must love music, but the way that he lived lit a fire in us for us to be music educators.
Mine kind of bounces right off of that. Dad had a lot of different mantras that he would really not just preach, but teach and live very explicitly throughout like the different decades that he taught. And one of the mantras that he taught a lot was 3 phrases. It was tell the truth, create a disturbance, and make a difference. And then he would always go on to give multiple examples and really challenge students to do those 3 things. Tell the truth when you sing, but live the truth. And create a disturbance when you sing, and how you live, and not in a destructive way, but in a powerful, positive, impactful way. And then make a difference as that like final side effect of what happens when you live with like honest, strong impact. And not only did Dad teach me that as his student, but as his daughter, I got to see him live it every single day. And no one is perfect, but as dads go, I mean, like someone who you can look back and say that man, that music educator right there, lived that at his home. He lived that in his community. He lived that in his church. And he lived that to his family. And so, I mean, absolutely by far, Hall of Fame guy right there.
I'm newer to the family, and so it's been really fun to get to join the Ritters and to be part of Fred's life. And he's really built into me and my teaching this year. He's joined our pep band playing the bass every week. So not only has he done great things, but he continues to build up his family and to build up our community here in Columbus. He also helps lead the group that we're all in together, Voice House. And so to get to continue to be a part of the next step of his journey has really been an honor for me.
Well, and of course, to follow Dad at Columbus High School has been incredible. Just to witness the power of his legacy with the students that come back and see CHS and see what's going on there. I truly believe that I am carrying forward his legacy as the leader of CHS Vocal Music, and it means a lot to me to be able to do so.